Okay, I think I've got this figured out. Listen, I'll be 100% honest with all of you today. We got a 3-hour show. We got guests galore. I'm a mess. Like, I am not, I will not be at my best today. I got vacation around the corner, trying to tie up all these loose ends. And it's just, it's not good. And we've got Lane here, Cade here. Who is that? Alberto's back with you?
Alberto's with me.
Yeah,
That's
we got like a full house today. So maybe, the less I talk, the better today. This might actually work out to my advantage. We have so many people in the studio. I'm excited. Lane Frank hasn't been here in weeks. When was the last time you were here?
Oh, man, I think like Valentine's Day was the last time I was here. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I mean, like the last time you were here, you practically like just got your driver's license.
Yeah, oh yeah, so it's been a while. I think it was probably the week after I did the show with Cade.
Really?
That's probably the last time I came.
That makes sense.
I don't even know if I came that next week.
Hey, listen to Cade's voice. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm a little banged up this week. The sickness got to me a little bit, but we're recovering now. We're good, but my voice is still not all the way there. So I was doing everything I could to try to sound decent for the show today.
Are you sick from boot camp, or are you sick from just sick?
Just probably both. Probably both. Boot camp definitely came in and whooped us, but in a good way. And then there was a little bit of sickness going around the football team, but my body's done a good job of fighting it off. We've kept it just to the losing the voice.
That's good.
Cade, did you see that Derek Hamilton this weekend? He had a flu game for UTEP basketball. He played. Apparently, he was puking before and then even after the game. Needed an IV drip after the game. Did you see this right there?
I did hear about that, but you just told me a whole lot more in detail, and that's what I'm talking about. That's the type of stuff you got to do to push through a little bit of adversity. People don't understand that when you get sick and as an athlete, there's a whole lot you got to push through. You're not missing very often because of sickness, whether it be practice or game, and it's not easy to push through. So shout out to him for getting through that.
Have you ever had a game like that where you're ready to throw up because you're just so you feel so sick? But you have to try to power through it.
Yes, I do. I have had one of those games. It was our really big rivalry game in high school, and I can remember it was probably one of the most sick I had ever been. Mm-hmm. I ended up going back to the doctors multiple times. It was right before spring break, and we had a spring break trip planned. We were going to, kind of drive up North California to go see Stanford and some of those schools and things like that. I almost couldn't go on the trip. They were like, we don't know if you're going to be okay. Like the doctors were saying this, we don't think you're going to be okay. But that week before that, it wasn't a spring break trip. It wouldn't have been during season, but it was winter break. And I was so sick, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to play.
But you played.
But I played, and I played really well. So, sometimes those flu games come out of nowhere.
Have you ever had a flu game on a tennis match? Has that ever been something you've ever tried to power through a big tennis match when you feel like you got the flu?
I'll say it's about a week ago. Yeah, kind of struggling with that a little bit. We did a trip going up to Midland for the week, and I was pretty sick, man. Let's push through it, adrenaline. That helps you out. But I remember last week, that was pretty tough.
Well, that's all right. How'd you do?
Did pretty well. Really good competition up there in that tournament. Yeah, did well. 1-3, lost 2.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all. It was fun.
All right, good stuff. We got a lot to cover on the show today, guys. We really do. College basketball, this is the time. March Madness. Have you been diving into that this week, coming up with the latest, I guess it's going to probably come out on Thursday, but, your Schoolyard Sports podcast?
Come on, this is my season. March Madness is my season. Get ready for that bracket episode. Done it every year, the bracket episode. The first year, I picked Kansas. I got that right. Last year, first year, I picked Illinois. Second year, I picked Kansas. Got that right. Last year, picked Texas. Got that wrong. But you do the full pick every game. Get the massive bracket. It's fun.
Sorry we offended you and didn't realize it's that time of year and you're getting going with the brackets. I didn't even think about that.
Best time of year, the brackets. Get the big bracket. Put up on Schoolyard Sports. It's fun.
What happened to Texas last night in this season with Rodney Terry?
Man, I thought they were going to win that game. They were controlling that game, but Baylor at home, they turned on late. Get the gas.
It's been a tough year for Texas basketball.
It's cannibalism in the Big 12. Every single team in the Big 12 is going to do well in the NCAA tournament. But they're not going to do well in season because everybody is good and they beat up on each other. Kansas, they're not that great of a record in the Big 12. I still think they're a top 5 team in college basketball.
Do you?
They have wins over number 1 Houston and number 2 UConn.
All right. You following a lot of hoops right now, Cade?
You know what? I love March Madness. I love making brackets, and the truth is I've never been as good at them as my, other friends in my friend group who get to just sit and watch college basketball, and especially this time of year right now, I have not gotten to watch as much as I want to, but I have a plan, and it's to go sit with Lane Frank and make my, family league brackets with him and dominate because of him. That's my plan.
I think that is an excellent plan. I would stick with that, and let Lane take you as far as you can go.
Exactly. Will you do that for me, Lane?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So every year I do that tournament challenge for Schoolyard Sports and then do a giveaway for the winner.
What are the winners to win?
I think the first year it might have just been a hat, and then last year was a signed Shaq jersey.
Seriously? You give away a signed Shaq jersey?
Yep, it's big. We get the bracket challenge big.
Adrian, why can't we give away prizes like that on our station? Frank's giving it away on his Schoolyard Sports podcast. And
this isn't new news, though.
If we're lucky, we're giving away a Minor Talk T-shirt.
That's right. You're exactly right. We need to up our game.
And by the way, that's a good prize. That's a serious prize.
We need to up our game a little bit. We've got some friends like Kate over here who can maybe we can convince to sign some things or something like that. But nonetheless, Lane's done this. I love his giveaways. He's talked about these giveaways on air with us before. The Shaq jersey was awesome. It was like an LSU Shaq jersey. So I love that. And yeah, I'm ready for this year. The big bracket that's coming out. Lane, I'll ask you this. Big 12 has a lot of teams kind of on the bubble right now. There's no doubt about it in your mind that teams like Kansas State, Oklahoma make it. Of course, most signs point to Texas making it right now. But what about those fringe teams in the Big 12?
For Kansas State, I say no as of right now. I think you have to get at least one win in that Big 12 tournament, and I don't see that happening right now. Their biggest win is over Kansas, and Kansas right now falling off a little bit, so they need something big in that Big 12 tournament to get in.
Oklahoma?
Guys, I also want to know about UConn. If we're gonna jump
okay,
on
so
Tristan.
I've done my rants on UConn before. Do you want me to give one?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so UConn, best team in the country last year, winning national championship, great. They lost so many guys. They go into this year ranked really high. They had a really tough non-conference schedule. They did decent with it. They lost to Kansas. I don't love that loss right there. Then you go into the regular season. You're playing in the Big East, which the Big East is a bit weaker this year, in my opinion. So you go up against top 5 matchup. Great, you get the largest top 5 conference win of all time against Marquette. Marquette has fallen off since then. And on that Monday, Creighton crushes UConn. Creighton loses the next day to St. John's. I don't understand UConn right now. They can beat some great teams, and they can lose to some great teams. At the end of the day, this is not last year's team, and they're not winning the national championship again.
All right, well, that's an easy answer. Boy, thanks for breaking and making it sound so easy for us.
Breaking it down for you right there.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. Have you guys been following how the Conference USA tournament's going to work?
No, I haven't, but I know UTEP just beat one of the best teams in the conference, and I know Conference USA is weak this year. Let's hope UTEP can win that.
So listen to this. This is fascinating to me. Okay, here's how this thing works next week. Okay, first off, they're playing in Huntsville, Alabama.
You going to be there?
No, I'll be. I will be in a different area, not in Huntsville.
You're not going to Frisco? It's not in Frisco again?
No, Huntsville, Alabama.
Why?
Good question.
I mean, think
Frisco
about this.
seems so much better.
Frisco was the perfect place for it.
Right.
So, but they also just lost North Texas.
True.
And UTSA.
Right.
UTEP is the only Texas school left. Oh, no, Sam Houston stayed.
Right, yeah.
Anybody else besides Sam Houston, or is that
that's
it?
That's
right.
Crazy. Unless you take in New Mexico State
Nah, they
by
don't count.
default. By the airport's default.
There you go. So, look, here's what's going to happen. Tuesday next week's going to be the 8-9 game. Okay? Winner of that's going to play the 1 Wednesday. And then the 2 plays 7, also on Wednesday. The winners of those 2 games do not play Thursday. They go straight to the semis on Friday. Because the idea is you're rewarding the 1 and the 2 so they get a day off to rest between that quarterfinal game on Wednesday and the semifinal game on Friday.
That's interesting.
It's interesting if the 1 and the 2 lose, because then you've just rewarded potentially the 7, the 8, and the 9 seeds. But
right.
If the 1 and the 2 win. Now, on Thursday, you're going to get 3-6 and 4 versus 5. They play Thursday. And then Friday, you've got your semifinals. Saturday, you've got your finals.
Okay.
What this basically means is this. If you are in the 3 through 6 range, you have to win 3 games in 3 days to punch your ticket to the dance.
Right.
If you are 1, 2, or 7, 8, 9, you could conceivably play 3 games in 4 days. Although the 8 and the 9 would have to play 4 games because they have the extra game. So the 1 and the 2 could play in the 7, 3 games in 4 days. They get that day to rest before the Friday game. So that's how it's shaping up. So if UTEP finishes 6, 5, 4, or 3, very likely they're going to probably be either 6 or 5. We've already looked at the math. Most likely, if they beat Florida International, they're going to be 5 or 6. They will have to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 3 wins in 3 days.
Steve, you're acting like that's a death sentence right there. Every team in college basketball has done that for every single conference tournament, and that's what conference tournament should be. I think this is a joke what Conference USA is doing, and I just learned about it right now. The best part of conference tournaments is that you're watching your team play every day for X amount of days. I'll bring it back to, I went to the Big Ten tournament in 2018. Michigan had a great run. They started off as a team with only 1 bye in that game. They beat Iowa on the first day, which I think it was Thursday. They beat Nebraska on Friday. They beat Michigan State on Saturday, and they beat Purdue to win it all on Sunday. That's the beauty of college basketball, playing 4 straight days, getting 4 straight wins. But for Conference USA, that doesn't make sense to me. I like to see teams playing consecutive days. It's good for the fans, good to watch on break. That's what I love. So Conference USA, I hate that rule right there with those 1, 2, 7, 8, 9s, or 7, 8, was it? 8,
7.
9?
Well, 8 and 9 will play each other Tuesday.
Right.
Winner of 8-9 plays the next day against the 1.
Okay.
So the 8 and the 9, the winner of that would have to play 4 in 5 days to win.
I'd rather play 3 in 3 days than 3 in 4 days.
I would agree with that.
It kind of seems crazy, but I'd rather
I wouldn't.
get the fans more energized. You get more energized. You're more fresh, I'd say. I mean, kind of weird to think you're more fresh, but you're not as rusty. You're seeing everybody else play. You're just sitting around for the day. That doesn't make sense to me.
You're resting. Yeah. You're getting healthy. They want you to feel like you don't have to have the legs to play 3 in 3 days. The objective of having a 1 or a 2 seed is you play your first game, you get a full day's rest before you have to go back, so that way you're a little more fresh for the final 2 games versus playing 3 in 3 days.
I see what you're saying, and I think I would agree with that if you were in the 1 or the 2 seed or the 7 seed. But if you're playing if you're in those 3 seeds,
yes,
where you only have to play the 1 game, you get a break, and then you have the semifinals and the finals.
Yes,
I understand that a little bit, but it would be better, in my opinion, to go 3 straight days because momentum is huge in those circumstances.
That's true.
So yes, you get your a break for your legs, but I think that it would be better in order to kind of stay on top, especially as a lower seed in the conference. You said they're going to get 5 or 6, right?
Most likely. Adrian, we looked at this.
Yeah.
Barring strange things from happening, it looks like UTEP's going to be somewhere either in a 6 or a 5 seed.
That's exactly right. There's a lot. I mean, tonight's Middle Tennessee Liberty game is definitely one to watch for standing implications, but I agree with Lane as how much of a mess this is right here in Conference USA. And as far as the seedings go, I think there's some really good points brought up on both sides. You're arguing the day's rest is worth it, Steve, while Lane and Kate are saying, hey, just play it all at one stretch.
Do you really think UTEP can win 3 games in 3 days?
Well, I don't think they can win more than 2 in this conference tournament, period.
No matter what.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you give a team that's hot a break, they're not going to get that. They're not going to catch that again. That's what I'm thinking right there.
That's true. You cool them off almost if you miss that day. If you give them a day break.
This is why conference tournaments are great. You can lose every game in the regular season and still have a shot to win the national championship.
Yeah, that's
you get the
true.
automatic bid, make that still be a tournament. I saw a thing. Michigan wins the Big Ten tournament, wins the national championship. They finish the year with a losing record.
Really?
Really.
Well, that'd be wild.
That's college basketball.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
All right.
We're not icing the kickers out here, Steve. We're gonna let them play.
That's true. Alberto, where do you fall on the situation of either 3 in 3 days or 3 in 4 days?
I like watching my teams consecutively. So yeah, I think the CUSA should switch things around. I don't think they will though.
Okay, so you're saying that everybody should play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, no matter what.
Yeah.
This Wednesday game is garbage.
Yeah, put everyone on the same level, kind of.
All right. It also means that UTEP not going to be playing until next Thursday, just so you know.
Right.
Really interesting.
A week-long break right there to watch everything kind of shake out as far as the seeds go. If you're somebody who sides with your thoughts, Steve, then you're hoping UTEP actually loses this week against FIU and maybe gets into that 7-seed spot.
No, I'll tell you why. If they lose, then they could be in the 8-9 game, and then that would suck because then you got to play 4 games in 5 days. That you don't want to
You get that day of rest.
Yeah, but you don't want to. I get it, but that means you also have to beat the 1 seed. You have to beat the 9 or the 8, then you got to beat the 1, and that's a lot. So no, I would rather play 3 in 3 days than have to play on Tuesday.
Hey, get this. Speaking of scheduling, how awful is this? If UTEP is either the 7th seed or the 6th seed, they will have to play at 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time tip-off.
Is it Huntsville Eastern Time? Probably, right?
Central. So 8 o'clock Central.
10
No. If it's 8 o'clock Central, it's 7 o'clock here.
Oh, okay. There's my time zones getting mixed up.
Central is always an hour later than El Paso.
Okay, so pretty typical tip-off.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, pretty normal
And
tip-off.
that would be, so was that the 3-6 or is that the 4-5?
Both. That's actually the 3-6 matchup and the 2-7. So
What about
4-5 is 5:30 Central.
4:30 our time.
Correct.
So they'll either be playing at 4:30 or 7 o'clock on Thursday, assuming they're in the 4, 5, or 6.
Correct. That's right.
And if they're in the 2-7 game, then they would end up playing. You said at what time?
7 local, 8 p.m. Central.
Okay.
I want to know what you guys think of our chances, because obviously as a fan and as somebody who's part of the university, I'm very optimistic always. I love our guys. I know them around the building. What are our odds?
Well, let's talk about that when we come back. That's a perfect segue. Beautiful, Kate. It's like you're you know everything about the show today. You're beautiful. Okay. 505-6009, our telephone number. What a segue. Lane's here, Cade's here, everybody's here. We'll go to Charlie 1. He's here. He's got a traffic update for us. 23 past as we continue here on Sports Talk. We've got Lane Frank. We have Cade McConnell. We've got Alberto Urueta. We have Adrian. I'm here.
It's a party.
It is my final show for a while. I'm excited about that. Matter of fact, when I come back, UTEP's going to be playing in the conference tournament. I'm ready to go for that one.
Or maybe out of the tournament.
No, they can't. It's next Thursday.
NCAA tournament the next week.
Yeah, it's next Thursday. They're not going to be out by next Thursday. No. We might not have a show, though.
Adrian.
I remember last year, I came here and UTEP was up 20 in their first round game, and they lost.
Oh, God. No,
against Western Kentucky. They were up 20 when I got to the station.
I remember that,
and I left, and they lost.
Well, maybe you should have stuck around. Maybe you never should have left.
Maybe I should never came.
When
I got here, it was 28-2.
Maybe you jinxed them.
When I left, they were losing.
You show that's true. Maybe you jinxed them. Who knows? I don't know how that situation works with sports. Are you superstitious?
That's a good question. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm not. It just depends.
Are you superstitious with Michigan?
Yeah, I'm superstitious with Michigan, but for tennis, I'm not always that superstitious. But for Michigan, definitely.
So you're telling me you're more superstitious with the teams you root for than yourself?
I could care less about Michigan basketball right now, but for tennis, I don't like to get in my own head. So,
do you find that the more superstitious, the more rituals you go into, then the more mentally you're a disaster?
The more I start to think about it, the more it gets worse.
Kate, is that your situation too?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. I am superstitious. Like, there's certain things that have to stick with me and I kind of get in my head about for the game, but for the most part I try to keep it, like I literally have to tell myself in my head sometimes, oh no, this doesn't matter. Like this is not going to actually affect me. I'm going to do this because, of X, Y, and Z. I have to verbally tell myself that because yes, I am superstitious.
Sometimes I do things not even like realizing it. It's kind of just like a ritual without even realizing it, I guess.
I'm the same way.
Like my dad was telling me during my match, like before every point you do this, and I'm like, oh, I don't even realize that.
Oh really? He was like pointing things out to you?
Maybe maybe I bounced the ball like 3 times, something like that, not even realize it.
And then it just happens, and then all of a sudden, do you try to stop it, or do you not care and you just keep doing it?
I don't even think I know I'm doing it. I'm just so zoned in.
Okay. Go ahead.
My superstitions usually come with like gear. I don't know if you're the same way too. Like mine is like things. It's very the tangible things, not like actions or necessarily doing the same things all the time. But it's like, oh, if I wore my wristband like this one day, I should probably wear it again like that, or little small intricacies of my uniform.
Like when I play doubles, I wear my hat forwards, and I play singles, I wear it backwards.
Why? That's just how
cooler.
So it's
sometimes
about looks.
Different. Yeah.
So you're telling me that has nothing to do with your actual game performance because it looks cooler.
Maybe you get more in the sun, you hit more overheads and doubles, you need the hat forward.
Do you feel like it looks cooler with the hat backwards or forwards?
Depends, honestly. Sometimes it can look cooler backwards, but like cooler forwards too.
Are you one of these people that like to wear your bill off to the side instead of in front?
Never.
Okay.
You're definitely someone who hates someone who wears a backwards hat. You've definitely never worn a backwards hat before.
Me? Yeah, I've worn a backwards hat.
I feel like you're a guy who'd hate that.
I don't care about that.
Okay.
I used to wear a backwards hat before, too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I know Colin Coward hates it.
Really?
Yeah, he always talks about it in his show.
It doesn't bother me.
Next show, Steve, I'm going to bring you one of these UTEP hats that I always wear, and you're going to wear it backward during the show.
I'll tell you what. I own a UTEP hat that says, and on the back it's got Luke Laufenberg patch.
Oh, yeah.
I'll bring that next week, and I'll wear that backwards. How's that?
I love it. And then we'll send a picture to Babe Laufenberg,
Please.
too. Yeah.
That'll be good.
I have an important question for Lane really quick. Lane, I have been wanting to play tennis for a very long time. Can we please get out on the courts? I need some help, right?
We could definitely get on the court. Just name any court in town.
Oh, that's so great.
Do you have
good.
patience though for people like Cade if he's like, let's say, a work in progress? Now he's a great athlete, so that means he's naturally gifted to probably be better than the average person when they play tennis. But will you try to like power balls past him, or will you try to just volley and just make it fun?
No, I think with him as a quarterback, with his height, I think he'll be able to use his hips really well and be able to use his height to get that serve going.
Yeah, I like that.
So don't use your arm much.
So what does that mean? Does that mean you're going to try to beat him right out of the gate, or are you going to just try to have some fun with him?
Try to have some fun with it, maybe teach him some things.
There you go.
There you go.
That's right.
Are you good on English? Can you put English on the ball?
Oh, yeah. Well, table tennis, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh. You know what we need to do? Pickleball.
Yes.
Right here. No, Lane, I don't want to
Pickleball
hear.
commercial, as we say that.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
Hold on.
Is that where you got the idea from?
No, I was not even looking at the TV. But
Good, because that was a Metamucil commercial, so I'm hoping you're not looking at the TV.
Right.
Yeah.
It had pickleball in it.
pickleball, us
Of course,
four.
Metamucil and pickleball goes together perfectly. Yes.
Us four, pickleball. That way we even the playing field a little bit. If Steve tears a hammy, Alberto's coming in. That would be great.
I'm not injured. Do you realize something? I don't get hurt in that kind of. I'm not that. Even though I'm at the age where those injuries should happen. No, and I will battle through it. I don't care what I do. If I'm gimpy and limping, I'm still playing. I do not. You will not be able to get me off the floor, off the court. Doesn't work.
Your high school baseball career says differently.
What's that?
Your high school baseball career says differently.
Oh, we're going.
Roscoe told me you got hurt and then never played.
That's true. That is true. I cracked a vertebrae in my back.
Right, so that's
which
a bit
meant
tougher.
I couldn't get out of bed and I couldn't walk.
That's a bit tougher. But you're covered.
There's a big difference between a groin pull and a cracked vertebrae.
You're
and
covered.
Roscoe, by the way, since we brought up
He's
the
definitely listening. So
Coronado baseball coach, had the opportunity to carry me on the roster while I was rehabbing. And he said, no, I can't keep a spot for you. To this day, I'm still pissed off about that.
I know he listens because he
Good.
listens every time I'm on the show.
I'm happy. Thanks to him, I got into this business.
Have him call in.
So this is his doing. Right now but I'm 50. I'd be playing in old timers games around Major League Baseball parks right now every year. But instead, I'm 30 years into this.
You'd be the next Barry Bonds.
What's that?
You'd be the next Barry Bonds.
I would have.
without
Yeah,
doubt.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Who knows what would have happened in my day? The roids and all that stuff. Never know. Never know.
Steve juicing.
That's
Oh my
right.
God. I would have paid.
Maybe I would have just been on greenies. Just give me some amphetamines and I'm all hopped up, ready to go, like I do this radio show.
You'd been a better Jewish baseball player than Sandy Koufax.
There you go, too. That's right. Move over, Sean Green. Anyway, bottom of the hour as we continue here on Sports Talk. What a conversation. Adrian, I mean,
great.
I'll be honest with you, the show's going nowhere right now. Like, I mean, if you think about it, what have we talked about so far with Lane
We
and
talked
Cade?
about pickleball a little bit. We talked about how messed up the format is for Conference USA and basketball, and that's about it.
And Lane's talking crap about me and bringing
I'm
up
kidding.
my high school baseball
I'm
days.
kidding.
You're
I'm
getting
kidding.
How
fired
terrible
up,
is
and I
that?
love it.
Yeah, and
I mean, I'm still, by the way, to be honest with you, okay? I don't hold grudges.
It still stings.
That still bothers me.
yeah, I can.
That bothers me.
That would bother me too.
Yeah. I hit 571 my sophomore year at Coronado playing JV.
How many at bats?
I
5?
hurt myself. No.
He just went straight to the
Listen,
at-bats question.
you're evil. You know that? You are evil.
I'm kidding.
Evil. Listen, I made the most of my opportunities. They did.
I bet. Yeah.
Get hurt the following year. Ask him to keep me on the roster. Tells me no.
Crafty lefty.
What if you got hurt? Would they keep you on the roster?
Yeah.
See? There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I can see that's tough right there.
All right. What if you're out for 3 months? Would they keep you on the roster then?
For sure.
See?
Someone tore their
Thank
ACL
you.
last year.
Hope
Stay in
he's-
the roster the whole
hey,
year.
Hope he's listening. Hope he's listening right now.
He definitely is.
That's good.
I love this show today.
I don't even know how he's not retired yet. Guy's been there for 1,000 years. How is he not retired and at least put himself in a position to where he should be listening to this show while he's watering his lawn out in his backyard?
It's a great example of an on-air conversation that shouldn't have happened.
How's he still coaching a high school baseball team? please. I think he already had his like 50th reunion. All right, we'll come back more in a moment as Sports Talk continues. But first, let's go to Adrian and get this Sports Center update. Adrian, thank you very much. You bothered about Saquon being an unrestricted free agent as a Giant fan? Does that upset you?
It does bother me, but I think it's time the Giants go full all-out rebuild. Give me J.J. McCarthy. Give me Blake Corum. Give me somebody else to restart this franchise.
You're ready to just blow it up. What are you going to do with Daniel Jones and that big contract he just gave him?
I love Daniel Jones, Duke guy, but everything he has shown in his career is that he's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He can win you some games. His prime will be Kirk Cousins at best.
Let's stop right there. How many Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are there currently in the NFL, in your opinion?
Not too many, but let me go through a list really quick, and then I'll tell you.
All right. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, one.
Yes. Patrick Mahomes, yes.
Okay.
Pull up all the quarterbacks. Let's do it.
Brock Purdy, is he a Super Bowl winning quarterback?
Yes.
On a Super Bowl winning team, yes. By himself, no.
I agree with that.
All right. Are we assuming is the qualifications they're on a team or just themselves? Like, is Mahomes the kind of guy that can win on any team, pretty much?
Let's go with the self.
I mean, nobody can win by themselves, but I'd say if you have a good enough cast around you, Mahomes could definitely win it.
Okay.
He could take the worst team.
All right. Tua Tagovailoa.
No.
Jared Goff.
Yes.
Yes.
Dak Prescott.
No.
Josh Allen.
Yes.
Yes.
You guys agree so far? Wait, no, you stopped on a second.
I stopped on Dak. I don't have the hatred for the Cowboys that the rest of the world has, and all the frustrations. I think that Dak can do it. I do.
Jalen Hurts.
No.
Yes.
Why?
I think that I've seen a lot of Jalen Hurts, and I think that the person that he is and the leader that he is, I mean, he's still really young too. So I think that as we continue to see him progress as a mature passer in the NFL, that he will become and is on the brink right now of being a Super Bowl quarterback.
Fair enough. Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Justin Herbert.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Wow. Especially Harbaugh, maybe even this year.
Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. C.J. Stroud.
Yes.
Yes.
Jordan Love.
Yes.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence.
No.
No, not yet.
Not yet. No, I say no at all.
Baker Mayfield.
No.
No.
Sadly, no.
Yep.
Matthew Stafford.
Not
Yes.
again. No.
No. Well, I mean, I'm going to say yes because he's already done it. So that yes.
Okay, yeah, so I'd say not again in his career. But
Okay. Anybody? Aaron Rodgers.
Of course.
of course, yeah.
Anybody else we're leaving out, Adrian? Did I forget anybody?
The only other two Super Bowl winning quarterbacks who are currently active in the NFL right now, Russell Wilson and Joe Flacco.
Well, neither of them are on teams right now, so
And they're both
that's a
no's
tough
for
one.
me.
And they're both in their mid to late 30s.
Those are big no's for me.
I think Wilson maybe can jumpstart his career somewhere. I mean, this is a guy who we thought could keep the trajectory he had in 2019 going until now, but
And I think we're at a really interesting point just in the, lifespan of the NFL with these quarterbacks. Like, I think there's a lot of really good young franchise quarterbacks right now that have bright futures ahead, and it's just going to elevate the play of the NFL over the next 10 to 15 years as a whole.
I got you. Well, I think that could be the case too. How about finding out today that, and this is an interesting story. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I think it needs to be brought up now, and that is that Arch Manning opted out of College Football 25.
no point. I mean, what's the point of opting out? Like, you're
ruining
ruining your own brand.
I truthfully believe that is like one of the dumbest things I have ever heard. Just because I think the thing was like, wasn't it? He said, "I want to focus on what's on the field, not what's off the field, and stuff like that."
So when he's in the NFL, is he going to opt out of Madden?
It doesn't make any sense to me. Like being you don't have to play the video game.
So he said he wants to wait until he was the guy at Texas. So I guess he doesn't want to be in the game, never used, never played. Maybe he's afraid of his rating.
I think what he might have been afraid of is if somebody puts him on, Arch Manning transfers to the University of Alabama and then plays out his career there. Maybe a video like that, just bad press for the family, something like that, I guess.
You think that's what it could be?
They're so strong around their PR, and I'm talking about the Mannings. It seems like their PR is at the highest levels, or maybe to some people it's kind of at obnoxious levels like we're seeing here.
Well, apparently, they've had over 10,000 opt-in. 10,000 opt-in.
There's
That's
only
a huge
11.
number.
There's only 11,000 Division I college football players as a whole.
Someone else who has an opt-in is Shedeur Sanders, but I think he's holding out for the cover. If he gets the cover, I think he's going to get a massive deal from them, not just the $600.
Oh, I mean, that could be the case. Don't you think the cover's already been? Don't you think the cover's already been decided? I mean, honestly,
I don't know.
I saw a rumor about Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
I mean, that just makes sense to me. I think that he deserves it. I think that it should be the Heisman Trophy winner from the previous year every year as the cover.
Even if they're not in college football anymore, I want someone who's in college football.
So you want somebody that's going to still be playing that next year.
Right. So maybe a Will Johnson, maybe a Shedeur Sanders, maybe a Travis Hunter. That could be more fun.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I just think that is a very clear. There's so many more players in college football than there is the NFL. And I feel like having the previous Heisman Trophy winner is such a good default for a little bit of an honor. Like, here's your Heisman Trophy winner, here's your cover of the NCAA game, and congratulations. That makes sense to me in my mind logically, and I don't think anybody would be mad about that. But maybe you would be late.
On those lines, what if you had kind of like a collage of all the past winners from 2014 all the way up to 2024 here, and you have all these different ones? So maybe you'll have, you'll have the previous Heisman winners from 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago to honor all these guys who haven't been on the cover.
I saw that idea. That'd be a great idea to get guys like Johnny Manziel, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield. Great idea.
By the way, will this game include the greats? Do we know yet if College Football 25 is going to have like an all-time great player list, or is it just the current list?
I hope so. I think an Ultimate Team, a mode which is online, you get the cards. I think they're going to have some legendary guys in there.
Do you really?
I do.
What do you think Cade's rating is going to be?
We had this poll on Twitter, so
Okay.
you don't have to hold back. Like, give me your honest opinion. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
So I just think what they're going to rate any UTEP player is somewhere from probably 60 to, I think the highest rated player in UTEP, just from what they think, is probably going to be 80, 85 maybe. So
No, that's higher than what was expected. But give me your number.
I'll go with 73.
Ooh, that's high.
That's right. I mean,
For a
listen,
college football quarterback, I'd say it's pretty good.
okay,
Yeah.
so the point is,
That's
Cade
what
could
rookies are in
fall.
Madden.
Cade could fall in that 70 to 75 range.
Starting quarterback, for sure.
Yeah. All right.
That was good. The Twitter poll, over 60% of the people, there was 30% and 30%, but they said somewhere between 65 and 69 and then 70 to 74. So
Yeah, so you fell right into that range. All right. So you think the best player could be in that 80 range from UTEP?
I think they're going to be really strict with their ratings. Maybe only one guy, 99. And then for UTEP, some of these smaller schools, they're not going to rate guys that high.
All right. So you think maybe like high 70s, low 80s
Right.
for UTEP. Okay. Interesting. What do you think, Adrian?
I like it. I think that all the ratings conversation, all the excitement around this football game, it's making this very anticipated. I think we got to get Lane to hop on some Twitch streams with us. Same with Cade. Same with everybody. I mean, Zay's already planning out some content for it as well. So I think it's just firing up everybody.
I like that.
am I going to get text from you guys when I, throw an interception in the game and you guys are mad about my abilities in the game and my attributes?
I might have to bench you.
Maybe it's like, let's throw a throw power up there. You got a great throw this week. Let's raise that rating.
Right, I like that. Live adjustments would be crazy in the game. That would be
crazy.
another detail that would
I think they're
just be
trying to do
fun.
that, make roster updates in season. each week.
Seriously?
That's what they do for Madden. So
Wow.
I feel like that would cater so much to the Power 5 schools more than it would the Group of 5 schools. I mean, maybe you just have to. It depends on how much of a workforce and like all the developers they put behind this, like how many people they actually have paying
I
attention.
mean, you always get that random running back from a random school rushing for 2,000 yards in a season. So
Yeah, but
Right.
think about this, okay? You've got what? You've got 32 NFL teams. You're going to have about 30-something Division I teams.
34.
Which means 134. So that essentially means you're going to need 4 times the manpower to handle College Football 25 compared to Madden.
Yes, but at the same time, I have said before, and I'll say it again, I think this is the most anticipated sports game of all time, and it will be the biggest sports game of all time. They're already paying a lot of money for the $600 of people that are going to be in the game.
and the free copy.
And the free copy. I think that they're doing their best they can to make this a very community-based game, and in doing so, they're going to make it the best of all time.
Is your free copy going to be a downloadable copy, or is it going to be an actual disc?
I would assume that it's going to be a downloadable copy just because that's the more modern way of getting games.
Right.
But I would be curious to see how they're going to do that because it seems like it'd be easier to distribute a hard copy because, you have a list of players and they maybe give it to
Yes.
the university and then they give it to you through that. So
Okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm
I
curious.
mean, also you can always go on PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, type in a code. Maybe they'll
right,
do that
maybe
right
they
there.
just email. Yeah,
So
they
also,
could
again, the copy would be cool.
I know you want to try to play as Michigan because that's your team, but will you at some point try to go into dynasty mode at UTEP with Cade as your quarterback and go win a natty?
So when I play NCAA 14, I'll do UTEP as a dynasty, and I'll try to build them up to a national championship. I'm doing that in NCAA 14. I'm definitely doing it in EA College Football 25.
Okay, so that tells me that, yes, so Cade's
Yes.
you're riding Cade.
Let's go.
All right, there it is.
Let's go.
Nice. We've got about a little more than 15 minutes to go in the hour. 505-6009. Stay with us. Sports Talk continues. UTEP track coming up right here, 600 ESPN El Paso.
Yeah.
Back on Sports Talk as we continue right now. You good there, pal?
I'm good.
Yeah?
You good?
Yeah, I'm great. Yeah.
Still mad about the Roscoe thing?
Nah, I don't care anymore.
You're over it?
Yeah.
He didn't call in.
Well, I'm not surprised. He wasn't listening.
Might have been.
Nah, I doubt it.
He always tells me when he listens.
He's got my cell phone. He can call me whenever he wants.
It's true.
You know. You would think that, bring me a Coronado baseball T-shirt. Nah.
One time I was in the class, he was on Call with Your Brother.
Was he
I was in
really?
his class. Yeah.
That's good. I'm happy about that. That's nice. All right. Hey, you mentioned college basketball this week, right?
Yep.
Are you going to be talking about baseball, spring training?
Baseball, great stuff going on right now, but for the Mets, bit tough. That rotation is going to be terrible this year. Terrible. Yes. Sign Blake Snell, sign Trevor Bauer, get one of those guys. Bauer's cleared from everything, and he's a top 15 pitcher in the world.
But they're not going anywhere. So who cares? Like if you're
not going anywhere, then just sign them.
Why?
What's the point?
Because they've already said they're playing for 2025.
Mets always start off to a good start every year, and then they collapse.
Yeah,
they're going to get off to a terrible start this year, and they're going to collapse even more. Let's control that and get some of these guys right now.
Okay. You going to talk about that on Schoolyard Sports?
You can talk about that in about an hour when I record.
Oh, very nice. Oh, you're recording in an hour?
Recording at 6:30.
Okay. Kate, any requests on what you would like Lane to include this week in the Schoolyard Sports podcast?
Yes, some EA, or have you already talked about NCAA?
I've talked about it, but I'll talk about it more.
Okay, that's fine. I'd love to hear a little segment on that.
What the players think. What do the players think on UTEP right now about it?
Everyone's really excited, but we're all just kind of on the edge of our seat, like waiting to see exactly what's going to happen. We were talking about it a little bit off air. I haven't got like the confirmation or the graphic. I don't know exactly how they send that out as far as saying, hey, Cade McConnell, you're in the game. That I haven't gotten that, so I would like to be able to see that and then just kind of have a little more certainty about things that are going on. But nonetheless, I'm excited.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if it's the media for these schools making those or if it's actually EA making those.
Exactly. I was trying to reach out to some of our media team. I really wanted them to make like a mock cover.
Right.
And I know that like there was kind of like that thing on Instagram where you could add your own picture to it.
Yeah, but that was kind of
it's kind of just like a generic thing. Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted one of our media team to like make a cover, like actual graphic design a little bit because I think those are so cool.
Do you want it to be like Scotty Walden without a shirt? Body paint? Is that what you'd like to see with the pickaxe right in the cover?
Could do anything.
Something. I mean, just Coach Walden's, whatever it may be.
It's got to be
slides,
number
10
11.
different pictures.
It's got to have you, Cade. It's got to be number 11.
I mean, that would be pretty cool too. That is like one of the things that would never ever leave your camera roll because that's just like dream come true.
Yeah, that's like your screensaver. That's
100%. 100%.
I want to know if you're going to be wearing the number 2 Luke Laufenberg jersey this year.
I don't know. That's up to Babe Laufenberg and Coach. That was a Babe Laufenberg Dimmel thing, and they kind of collaborated and found out. It was really up to Babe of who he had a relationship with on the team and who he wanted to wear that number and honor Luke. That would be an honor. It would be wonderful. But at the same time, I also love wearing number 11, and I love wearing McConnell on my back. So
yeah, it's true. You can't go wrong either way.
No, absolutely not. But I will say that, I do have a good relationship with Babe and anything that ties me to Luke or to Babe and that family would be an honor.
It would be awesome if EA Sports had in College Football 25 the number 2 Laufenberg on the back of somebody. That would be amazing.
I feel like
really cool.
I feel like it's always a great experience seeing Gavin have that, but whenever UTEP games are on TV, I don't think the broadcast teams ever did a good job explaining it. Everybody would always be confused about it. Why does quarterback Hardison have this jersey on?
And when they try to explain it, it gets even worse.
Exactly.
It's almost like saying, well, you don't really understand it. Why even bring it up? Yeah, I think so too. All right, so you're recording in an hour. I'm excited about that. You're going out of town. You're going to Asia.
Going to Asia will be a fun trip.
What are you most excited about in your trip to Asia?
I don't even know. Not seeing the Tokyo Dome, which is a bit upsetting, but it'll be a fun trip.
Any sports involved in these 2 weeks?
Sumo wrestling.
You're going to see sumo wrestling?
In Japan. That'll be fun.
Really?
That'll be fun.
That will be good. You're going to talk about that on Schoolyard Sports when you come back?
Maybe I have to include it in that March Madness episode.
What episode number will we have tonight? What episode are we on?
I think we're on 160, maybe 161 now. Let me check. I even lose track nowadays, Steve.
All right, I like that. 161. That's good. All right, well, listen, I'm excited for you. Have a great trip.
You too.
When are you back in town?
Back in town, the 18th maybe?
Oh, wow. All right, you're gone for a while.
Give me a minute.
First day of spring ball.
First day.
Yeah.
for you guys.
Maybe you can come on early that week and we can get a recap and find out how everything went with you.
Let's do it.
All right, beautiful.
Get some March Madness stuff.
Thanks for joining us.
Maybe we could do the first day of March Madness that Thursday.
That would be amazing. But guess what? We're airing the games.
You're right.
So we'll get you on before that. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right. Once again, talking to Lane Frank as we wrap up hour number 1. Schoolyard Sports and his trips each and every week are brought to you by River Oaks Properties, folks. They've got not only shopping centers all over El Paso, they continue to build. And if you are interested in putting your business in the perfect place, just reach out and contact River Oaks Properties today. And they, again, are a part of our Schoolyard Sports studios. And they also bring Lane Frank here with us each and every day, who is now driving his own car. Unbelievable how they grow up so fast. We'll come back. Hour number 2. We'll talk a little UTEP track next as Sports Talk continues. X-1 getting us going to begin hour number 2 of the program. Welcome back, everybody. Always fun when Lane can drop by, as well as Jerry Rubin, who was just nominated for the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame in the Supporter of Athletics category. What did Jerry do? Well, he only sponsored the Sun Bowl for years with Brute, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, Vitalis. And then he also built the softball field at UTEP. Not bad. Not bad at all when he was out at hell in a truck.
I think that's a pretty good resume, Steve, to put together for some honors here in El Paso.
What do you think, Kate?
We are in the presence of a legend when he comes in here every single time.
We are. In fact, the toughest part, honestly, is having to tell Jerry goodbye. I mean, if he would stay here for the whole show, because he's just, he enjoys talking to us. We enjoy talking to him. And the hardest part is when our music is playing, and like just there, X-1, the boys have their brand new song out, Return of the Night Mouse. We played that. So a big shout out to Christian and David and X-1 for giving us the opportunity to play that new track for them. But the hardest part is having to say goodbye to Jerry, because trust me, he would much rather just be sticking around here with us on the show, as well as Lane. So, hey, good first hour. We're going to have a fun second hour. UTEP Track's going to be in the house here in about 15 minutes. They got the National NCAA Indoors coming up, and 2 of the featured athletes who are representing UTEP trying to win an NCAA Indoor title, they're going to be here.
I'm so excited because we see a lot of track players throughout the training room and the facility getting extra work, but I haven't had a chance to talk to a lot of them. They're on a different schedule than us. We're both busy doing certain things, so I'm really excited to have them in here. Who is it that we're having on?
Oh, let me tell you something. I'm happy you brought that up, because let me just tell you this. We have, and I want to make sure that I get everybody's, get everybody's name right, because we're going to have 2 of the female athletes. I believe, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We've got Naisha Berger and Marissa Simpson, Steve.
Now, you're right. And if I'm not mistaken, Naisha Berger is from Jamaica. And as far as Simpson, she's from Jamaica. UTEP has done very, very well with Jamaican athletes over the years in track and field. They've recruited overseas, and we've seen Kenyans they've been Olympic gold medalists. Jamaicans have been terrific as well. I think Obadeli Thompson was from Jamaica, and he was like the first big one about 30 years ago. And now here we are with 2 more, and that's fantastic.
I'm really excited to ask them about their recruiting process and how that happened, because obviously it's very different. In football in America, you have college, or you have junior colleges, and you have high schools, and the coaches go out and they have different sections of the United States. But obviously that has to look very different for recruiting track and field across the entire globe. So I'm really excited to ask them about that.
Hey, Marissa's a reoccurring guest on the show.
She's been on before, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Berger's a senior. Marissa's got 1 more year after this.
That's right. So she can make it 3 appearances in a row.
Can you imagine?
Maybe next year.
How great that would be. So it's fun to have them back, and looking forward to seeing them in a little bit. And then we've got UTEP softball in our final hour of the show. This is a very UTEP-themed show today.
I love it.
UTEP softball, UTEP track and field. Hey, why not? Track and field are at indoor nationals. Softball's off to a 14-5 start. Could be the best start in the history of the program.
And I'm really happy it's on a Tuesday, and I get to be here to talk to all them with you guys. I'm super excited for the rest of the show.
You know what else I've noticed about you? You're starting to get stronger. I can feel like after the first hour, you're starting now to get into your groove a little bit. And, I know in the beginning of the day you were a little worried about feeling under the weather. Sound great now.
Well, I am feeling better. I'm starting, the voice is getting warmed up, and we're
the adrenaline.
Yeah, of course, right? right? But the other thing is that I didn't get to come into the show on Thursday because of the short show with the basketball game happening. So I feel like I was out of the mix. I missed you guys, and now I'm back in here. Juices are flowing, second hour's going, and we're getting after it.
That's excellent. That's the way I like it.
Yeah.
It really is. So, all right. 505-6009. That is our telephone number to get into the program, 505-6009. Busy day in the NFL today. Franchise tags, cuts, a lot of designations. Do you believe Russell Wilson is finished, or do you think he'll get a landing spot as a starting quarterback?
Ooh, that's as a starting quarterback is tough, but he's one of those guys like almost like in a Bill Belichick role where he's been so good and been so good for so long and then kind of fell off right towards the end, and you feel like he's not a backup quarterback. You know what I mean? I feel like he's almost starter or not in the league anymore. And that's tough to see for Russell Wilson. But I do think that he gets another chance. I think that there's still some left in the tank for Russ. I just think it's going to have to be the perfect fit. There's going to have to be a lot of belief, and he's going to have to really take advantage of a situation.
I do too. But if you had to pick a great landing spot, where do you think the best spot is right now? Is it Minnesota? Is it Pittsburgh? Where do you like the best?
I mean, the comparison between him and Kirk Cousins is close enough to where I think that Minnesota could be a really good fit. I think that I've always liked what Kevin O'Connell's been able to do with that offense, and I think that Russ would fit in there as far as just being able to push the deep ball downfield. I still think Russ has one of the best deep balls in the NFL, and obviously he has Justin Jefferson there and other receivers that he can have as weapons. So I think that's a good spot for him. Like I said, there's just going to have to be a lot of other stuff that happens off the football field. There's got to be a lot of belief in Russ. There's got to be a lot of excitement for it, and there has to be this, that unity and that camaraderie that people talk about on a football team behind him in order for him to be successful.
Have you ever seen a bigger disaster than the 2 years that Russell Wilson was in Denver?
No. I mean, let's rewind a couple of years ago, right? We're talking about how much the AFC West was about to be stacked. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about the Broncos being Super Bowl contenders immediately. We're talking about how the Chiefs dynasty is still going strong. The Chargers, added Justin Herbert and a couple other guys, and they were getting rolling into their second and third years at this point. And then we're talking about how the Raiders were just coming off of a playoff appearance when them and the Chargers went at it right at the end of the season. And we're talking about how stacked the AFC West is going to be. And it was just wasn't at all. I mean, the Broncos were terrible. It was abysmal to watch. The Raiders ended up being no good. The Chargers ended up being no good. And then the Chiefs go out and run the AFC West still. I mean, it was just such a shock. Everyone thought that was going to be the powerhouse division of the entire league.
It's true. All right, let's get to the phones right now. This is going to be fun. 11 past the hour as Sports Talk continues. Let's welcome Domingo to the show. Domingo, what's going on, man? How are you?
Fine, Cappy. How are you?
Doing well, thanks, Domingo.
Yeah, I already heard a few moments ago that Lane Frank was going to go see sumo in Japan.
Yep, he's going to see some sumo wrestling in Japan. You got any advice for him?
Yeah, that I know for a fact that there's 6 tournaments a year in Japan, and he's in the right time. But if he does, and if it's Japan leg and Asia is going to be strictly in Tokyo, sumo is not going to be in Tokyo. It's going to the next tournament in Osaka.
So he needs to get to it. So maybe he's going to be in Osaka. He might not just be in Tokyo. Knowing Lane and his family, they're going to be traveling all over the place. I'm sure they're going to be all over Japan.
Yeah, and I know. Well, I'll give you tips about this. Well, I know about sumo a little bit because of the NHK World app, but I do know Tokyo does the sumo and the legendary Kokigagan in January, May, and September, and then the other 3 cities in March. Sorry about that. Let me see. March, July, November. So the next one, so the spring tournament is in Osaka. But in case it's going to stick to Tokyo, he should also check out some J League soccer. The soccer season in Japan just started and maybe baseball, but maybe baseball in Japan hasn't started yet. But if he has a chance, he should check out the J League.
He needs to take you. He needs to take you with him. You could be a sports tour guide in Japan. Thanks for the phone call, Domingo. We'll talk to you later. All right, 13 past the hour as Sports Talk continues. I like that. Domingo giving me a lowdown on sumo wrestling, which I would never know, telling us Osaka is where you got to be, and then all of a sudden throwing a little baseball and soccer in there as well.
You never know what you're going to get on this show, Steve.
That's true.
Yeah, Japanese sports fans, Steve. I love it.
I mean, that's something that how much do you follow anything as far as sports in Japan?
None. No sumo. I'll catch a Dwight Howard highlight here and there from the basketball side of things. Basketball, I do get a clip here or there. Maybe a little I don't know, some of the cast-offs or castaways from the NBA have a cup of coffee in Japan.
Yeah, I do not follow anything as far as Japanese sports goes. I should. I sometimes will like to follow Japanese baseball just because I like to see who's dominating that could be coming stateside in a year or two, but that's about it. That's the extent for me.
I can't follow Japanese baseball because it's just going to be somebody that thinks they're going to come to the Angels, leave the Angels. It just hurts too much, Steve. It hurts too much.
Too soon.
Would you like to follow, if possible, football if it ever came to Japan? Would you like to be the guy that could bring American football to Japan?
I would love to bring American football everywhere. I think that would be really awesome, and the NFL's trying to do that right now. But we'll see if it picks up traction because it's a lot to disperse that throughout the world.
All right, we've got Marissa Simpson here. We have Naisha Berger. We've got a couple of members of the UTEP track team. They're going for indoors. This is not Marissa's first rodeo on Sports Talk. She was here a year ago. She's back for more. However, Naisha, first time, huh? No? Hang on. I say that again? You know what? I think they are both repeats. Both.
That's awesome.
I can't
Reoccurring
believe this.
guests.
We have 2 repeats on the show that have been here a second time.
They're seasoned veterans.
That's good. They have better memories than I do. I don't remember what I ate for lunch today, so that at least they remember what happened on the show last year. That's good.
I mean, the way our week's been going, I'm surprised we've made it this far in the show.
I know I gave one of them a ride back to their apartment last year because they had no ride. That I do remember. So that's right. So, okay, we'll come back. We'll talk to the ladies in a moment as they get ready for indoors right after Charlie 1 in traffic. We continue. Ladies, if you could put those microphones close to you. I think, Naisha, you're good. Yes, that is perfect. I like this because Naisha and Marissa were here last year. It was an interesting situation because last year, you're only going to hear it out of one ear, Marissa. It's not I don't think that's going to be anything. I wish we had better qualities gear here. We have our equipment is terrible sometimes. I apologize for that. But appreciate you being here. Good to see you. Naisha back again, but this time it's different because you're both going together to indoors at the NCAAs. First time that's happened in 7 years. So ladies, this is a big deal and we appreciate you both being here. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. I'm doing good. I mean, I've had a long day, but I'm doing good.
Well, if you've had a long day and you're still here and you're here with us, we appreciate you making time for us. Let's put it that way. Was it a lot of fun today to go to the locker room and see your team there? Both, they're waiting for you, ready to give you a big applause as you're heading out to indoors later this week.
It was very cool, and I loved every part of it.
Okay. Naisha, what about you?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
Like seeing the team together, like I call that bonding. And the reaction we both got, I was like, I got goosebumps.
I saw you. You looked like you were stunned for a minute. Like you were just standing there kind of taking it all in for the first time.
Yes. I was surprised. Then I was happy too.
But this is your first trip to the NCAA indoors, right?
Yes, it is.
And Marissa, it's your second time or third time?
This is my first time to the NCAA indoor, but I went last year to outdoors.
Okay. So when you were both here last year, it was getting ready for outdoors is what it was. But this is indoors now. It's a big deal. And by the way, outdoors is going to be fun because UTEP is hosting outdoors. First time in many, many years. That's going to be in May. And the two of you are going to have an opportunity to try and win Conference USA on your home track. Is that not going to be the coolest experience ever? What do you think?
That is definitely going to be the coolest experience ever.
I agree with you. Naisha, what do you think?
I think being a senior, this would be my last outdoor. So winning the conference at UTEP would be so good.
So you want to go out with a bang is what you're telling me.
Yes.
All right. Cade, what do you think?
I think it's awesome that it's going to be here, so I get to go out and watch and support. And I'm going to take the entire football team with me. That's my goal. Wait, what are the dates of that again?
That'll be in probably, is that early May, right?
Yeah, it's early May.
I think May 11th to 13th.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 3 days.
Okay, so I'm going to have a task because that's like right after we get out of school. So then
you need to stay.
Well, I'll be here because I'm graduating. And then once I'll stick around for a couple extra days, make sure I stay through that so I can watch you guys. And I'll bring as many football players as I possibly can.
And this is important because I'm going to tell you something. We asked the ladies a moment ago, Adrian. We said, hey, this is Cade. He plays on the football team. I go, do you go to UTEP football games? And they said, no. We said, why? I go, they don't come to track meets.
Oh, good answer.
Now,
Great answer.
It is a fair answer.
But the truth is this, okay? I got to come to Cade's defense, and I'm going to tell you why, ladies. UTEP doesn't host track meets. You're on the road every week. And I know you want Cade and the rest of the team to travel and follow you on the road, but that's difficult. Like, I promise you that for your home for the championships, the outdoor championships, there's going to be a ton of football players there. He's going to make sure of it.
Oh, I will. Absolutely. Like I'm telling you guys, we love going to other sports events around campus. I mean, we've done our best, especially this semester, to go out to as many different sports as possible. We would absolutely be at your guys' track meets. We just need them to be here so that we can go watch them. You know what they said to me earlier? They said, well, you're on scholarship. You can go catch a flight and come see us, right? My goodness.
Hang on. Do you think he has an NIL deal?
Yeah.
Naisha, do you think Cade has an NIL deal?
Yes, definitely.
And who do you think his NIL deal is with? An airplane company? He can just travel all over the place and go see you?
Maybe. Who knows? He
Yeah.
plays football.
Yeah.
Marissa, do you think he has an NIL deal?
I do think so.
You do? Cade, do you have an NIL deal?
I do not.
Wow.
Yeah, I do not. Work in progress, right?
And he's the
Work in
starting
progress.
quarterback, and he doesn't have an NIL deal. Think about that, ladies. That tells you something right there.
Yeah.
Marissa, do you have an NIL deal?
No, I don't.
Not yet. Naisha, do you have an NIL deal?
International student or not?
You're not allowed to have them?
No.
I actually just found that out recently. We was just talking about that. Where was I talking about that? I don't know. I can't remember. But I was just talking with somebody the other day. You know who I ran into?
Who's that?
The women's basketball coach for Liberty. When I was around by campus the other day, and I started talking to him, we got into a conversation. But that's what he said. He said that international students cannot get NIL. That is crazy to me.
I've been told there's a way around that.
Technically, we can. It's just that we cannot accept, what would you call it? Anything on American soil.
Yeah,
It has to be
from
somewhere else.
From our own country.
So in other words, if you were given something in your home country, you could accept it.
Yeah.
But you just cannot accept it here.
No.
Okay.
I wonder what the point of that is. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason.
The NCAA, I think it's our visa status, the F1 visa, we're on student visas and not working visas. So I think that's where the problem comes in.
Okay.
So you're telling me that if, let's say, you go to a restaurant and they see you all the time, and they're big fans of yours, and they say, Marissa, look, we want to feed you, want to give you this NIL deal. You say, listen, thank you, but I cannot accept that.
Yeah, that's right. Cannot accept it unless they're giving it to the whole team.
I got
the
you.
whole team. Sorry.
So if the whole team got it, then it's okay.
Yeah.
But for just you, no.
No.
That's tough, ladies.
Very
That is difficult, and that's like that for all foreign athletes that come in apparently. So there.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we have the same amount of NIL, so we're on even playing field here.
I don't know if that makes them feel any better.
I
Because
mean,
they still don't have one. So well, you know,
me neither. So
yeah, that
But
that
you can.
he
Yeah,
could.
I could.
We're working on it. We're trying. We've we're making calls with Cade. We want to help him out.
They help me out a lot. They help me out for sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
We do. All right. First off, Marissa, first time in indoors. Tell me about what the indoor season's been like for you.
Honestly, my indoor season has been very tough.
Why is that?
At the beginning of the season, I lost my dad, and that has been very tough for me. I had to get out there every practice, every meet, and I don't know, try to lock in, try to see the bigger picture or the better picture, and just focus in. And it's hard to focus and be present when there is just so much going on in your mind.
I understand that. Did you talk to your dad a lot? And you tell me. I mean, was it something that was it one of those situations where it was very sudden, or is it something that had been happening for a while?
I definitely talked to my dad a lot, but he was kind of sick for a while. But To be very honest, to me it was sudden because I had expected him to pull through. I had so much faith, and that's what hurt the most because I had so much faith that he was going to make it, and he didn't.
I lost my dad 20 years ago. He had a heart attack and died, and he was here 1 minute, gone the next. So as somebody who lost a parent at a very young age, I can tell you how difficult that is, and I really do feel for you. And just being able to persevere and come through this year, it almost seems like did you dedicate this year to him? Because is that what helped drive you to where you're at right now?
Yes, most times I go to meet surgeons practices, and whenever I feel like, oh, I can't do this, I just tell myself that, why am I here? I try to tell myself whatever he used to tell me, that everything is going to be all right. And I just focus in on that, like, I'm going through a lot right now, but I think I can still show up, and be great, do great things, practice. You know what I mean?
Are you pretty close with Naisha?
We used to be very close.
What happened? Things happened.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand that. But still, how do you feel knowing that you have a teammate like Naisha who's going to have a chance to join you at the NCAA indoors?
I honestly feel, okay, so Naisha's the type of person, she's going to always show up and get it done, and to have a teammate like that going to nationals with me, it's really awesome, very responsible, and, it don't make me feel alone.
Okay.
Like their support.
I appreciate that. All right. We're going to talk to Naisha in a moment and come back with Marissa as well as Sports Talk continues. Bottom of the hour. Let's go right now to Adrian and get this Sports Center update. Naisha Berger here with us as well. One half of the UTEP track contingent going to the indoors, NCAA indoors, along with Marissa, who you just heard from a moment ago. Naisha, welcome back to the program. You tell me. I think last year it was injuries that was plaguing you around outdoor season. Was that correct, or am I wrong there?
Yes, that was.
You were hurt for part of it. Now you're healthy. You're having the opportunity to go to indoors. How big is this opportunity for you as a senior?
Well, I'll say it's a big accomplishment, knowing that I'm a senior, and what I would say, like, going to the indoor national is gonna help me, like, for more sponsorship to see me since I'm a senior, and that's one of the ways to get a stay in the U.S. So I'll say that's a great accomplishment for me.
Now, you said something really interesting. That'll keep you in the United States. So you like it here, and you want to stay here.
Yeah, I do want to stay here.
What is it about the United States, and specifically, being here in El Paso these last couple of years that you really like?
It's just more opportunities here. Like, back home, there's nothing to do.
So here you have much more of a chance to. Now, you say opportunities. Is that not only running, but for you, are you already thinking about life after track?
Yeah, I've been thinking about life after track, like, a lot.
What is your major?
Multidisciplinary studies.
What do you want to do with that?
To be honest, I'm not sure. So right now I'm kind of lost, but I'm talking to two of my mentors about it. I'm planning on doing my master's in, like, maybe, I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about it.
What are the choices? We'll help you decide. Kate and or Adrian, we're gonna make up your mind for you today. What's on the list?
I'm trying to do something in science.
Science.
Communication. One of those two.
Now they're a little different. Science and communication are not like that. It's almost like a 180-degree difference.
Right. One's over here, and one's all the way over there. So you're going to get definitely some different worlds with those two.
Yeah,
Yes.
so since lately, that's what I've been thinking about, like, life after track. Because if track doesn't work, what I'm going to do? I'm a senior. Like, my visa expires next year.
So far, the track's worked. I mean, you're here in the NCAA championships. You have an opportunity to win an NCAA title, which is a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big deal. But still, I still have to look after track.
That's true. Do you have any interest in ever going back home and running in the Olympics for Jamaica?
Definitely, yes.
So that's a possibility,
Yeah,
right?
it is. That's my long-term goal.
Long term, but you want to stay here in the States while you have a chance to compete and train for Jamaica.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question for both of them. And speaking of living in different worlds, right? Living in California and being recruited playing football is obviously looks very different from what you guys have experienced in Jamaica and being recruited to come here from a completely different country. And part of the cool thing about being on this show and me getting to talk with Steve and Adrian and you guys is we kind of get to give them behind the scenes access of some stuff that normal people who listen to sports don't really get to know. I'm curious like how recruiting worked for you guys and how you guys actually came in contact with people and then came to UTEP. Because for me, I played high school football. UTEP knew nothing about me. I went to a junior college. I did well. My coaches had a connection with some of the coaches that were here previously. They came, they looked at me, and then I came over here. Is it similar to that? You know, does it look like that for you guys? Who came over here? Kind of that's my question to you guys.
So I went to a junior college first. I was in Snyder, Texas. This was like 1 hour away from Lubbock. I would say I didn't want to go, but my mom was like, and my sister was like, sometimes opportunities only come once. And I did want to study in the U.S., so I did take the opportunity. I struggled a lot my 2 years. I remember I wanted to stop track, like I cried. And then I remember my second year, I went back home and I was training like every day often. I was like, I need to run D1 track somewhere. While speaking with my mentor and stuff, he was like, I think you'd be like good at UTEP. So
that's how it happened.
That's what happened.
Snyder had to be a tough place. It's one thing coming here from Jamaica and adjusting to life in El Paso. Can't even imagine what it would be like going from Jamaica to Snyder, Texas.
Like, it was awful. Like, there's nothing. Like,
yeah, there's nothing to do.
There's nothing to do.
Do they have? So what did you do? You just hung out on campus? That's basically it.
I was always in my room.
Yeah.
By myself, like always.
Did they have anybody else from Jamaica on the team besides you?
Yes, there was like a lot of Jamaicans there, but I didn't know them from back home.
So that didn't make it any easier for you because they weren't. You would have had to like make new friends with them because they weren't.
Well, not really, because I'm a person. I love to be alone. So.
Okay.
So I don't know, like not really.
So if I was to ask you, that's interesting. So for you, the perfect opportunity after competing would be just go back into your house, into your room, either your house or your apartment, chill and just relax and be by yourself, and that makes you the happiest.
Yeah, that made me the happiest.
Okay.
I hate hanging out.
Marissa, are you the same way? Do you like being all alone, or do you like being out with people?
I would say I'm introverted, but I'm extroverted around the right people. Mm-hmm. But I don't mind being alone or with people.
Just depends on the situation and what happens. All right, that makes sense.
Did your recruiting process look the same, similar to hers, or no?
Oh no, for me it was different because my coach Maurice Wignall, he was a Olympian and he used to be here in the United States. So his friend, which was the coach here maybe like 3 years ago, that is Coach Lucina Clark. Mm-hmm. So they were friends, and she was a coach here. So they spoke, and because in order to get here, you have to have a certain amount of like subjects, and in the Caribbean they do CXC. They don't do it over here in the U.S. Yeah. But you have to have that, where you have to have math, you have to have English, and then they do the SAT. Then they do the SAT, and you have to get a certain amount of scores. Right. But in my year, the SAT was, because it was like after COVID, so they kind of like, they didn't require it anymore. So that's how I kind of got here, through my coach, Coach Maurice Wignall, and then Coach Lucina Clark.
Okay. Listen, ladies, we'll come back. We'll wrap things up with you. I'm excited about having Marissa and Aisha with us here, two members of the UTEP track team, and they're playing in the NCAA indoor track meet this weekend. We'll get their thoughts on the competition, and could we see a couple of UTEP national champions? We'll do that next as Sports Talk continues. 600 ESPN El Paso. Back here on Sports Talk as we continue. Dining deals this Friday, 10 a.m. Buttersmith Kitchen and Pies. That's right, folks. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, happy hour, does not matter. Homemade pies. They've got omelets. They have skillets. They have eggs the way you like it. Delicious burgers, sandwiches, menudo, and more. Again, $50 to Buttersmith. There's a location on the west side on North Mesa, one on Hondo Pass in Northeast, Zaragoza on the east side, and even Las Cruces and Tell Shore. So 4 locations in El Paso and Las Cruces. And yes, Las Cruces also part of our dining deals. Go to 600ESPNElPaso.com, click dining deals, and you are all good to go. We have had a great conversation during the break. Adrian, Cade, Marissa, and Naisha are becoming BFFs.
Yes.
They are. Now, remember, this all hinges on Cade showing up at the UTEP or CUSA Outdoor Championships in May. I mean, they are talking about having Cade show up on the road and just be there to support during road meets. I mean, it's a big deal. They have bonded in a hurry in the last 25 minutes.
Cade, maybe you can report live for us for 600 ESPN El Paso. Post some videos on social and stuff like that out there at the outdoor meets for Conference USA.
I think that's a great idea. Just throw me into the deep end, right? Like, haven't really done any outside reporting, very little actual, sideline stuff, but just throw me into I can't tell you the last time I went to a track meet. Actually, I don't know if I've ever been to like a real track meet, but watched them on TV. I know a little bit. Don't know enough, but you guys can help me out. Just throw me to the deep end out there. We'll see how it goes.
I'm amazed at how the ladies their visions of like football, like what they think and all the athletes of UTEP are getting. Like truthfully, are you shocked, Marissa, Naisha, when you talk to Cade and you realized that when it comes to what they have versus what you have, there's really not that much difference between the athletes?
Yeah, I am shocked because I remember talking to a football player about it too. I was like, I don't believe you. So asking Kate made me believe, like, yeah, it's real.
Because I, for one, used to think they get everything, the NILs, everything, the clothes, the shoes, but
now you realize you're actually kind of similar in a lot of ways. The only difference is Cade's not playing in the NCAA tournament or in a bowl game yet because like these ladies are competing in the NCAA. Think about the NCAA Indoor Championships, Cade.
It's such a big deal, and it's really cool because, I mean, when you come out and you play Division I sports, it doesn't matter what sport you're playing, and you have the opportunity to compete at the highest level and to go to championships and win things that matter, things that, when you set out in this sport that you're like, this is my goal, this is the top, this is what I want to get to, and you have an opportunity to go do that. I mean, it's pretty special. You guys should feel very accomplished, and I'm cheering for you as hard as I possibly can.
Thank you.
Now, as far as the competition goes, what do the two of you know about, at least your meets that you're going to be in and who's going to be competing against you? Marissa, I'll start with you. Have you done some scouting yet to see who, in fact, will be going up against you in the hurdles?
I know that there are going to be maybe like a lot of Jamaicans from other schools, but mostly people from like the SECs, ACC. So I know that it's going to be all fired up.
So we're talking about again some of the big programs around the country, but that's perfectly fine for you, right? You don't back down from anybody.
No, never do.
All right,
never will.
I know that. Naisha, what about you? Do you have a little bit of an idea? Come close to that microphone for me, Naisha, and tell me what are you hearing right now in terms of your competition?
Well, I do have an idea of who I'll be competing with, but I am the best too.
See, that's the thing. How big? Okay, for the two of you, how big is not just confidence, but the mental aspect of this level? Now, we're not just talking about a regular meet, but NCAAs. How much do you think that mental will give you that advantage over your competitors?
100%.
Yeah.
There's this guy, Marcus Garvey. He was one of our heroes. He said that if you doubt yourself, you're twice defeated in life. You're defeated even before you get defeated. You're defeated even before you step on that line. Mm-hmm. So I think that the mental part of it needs to be 100% all the time. Every time you step out there, 100%.
I do believe.
Same thing.
I do be having meetings with my mentor because that's what he does.
He's almost like a mental coach as well.
Yes,
your mentor.
He is.
Is your mentor here in El Paso, or is he in Jamaica or someplace else?
He's here, but he's in Miami.
Oh, okay. So, but you can always talk to them on the phone or on
Always.
Zoom calls and stuff like that.
Always, maybe every day.
Now, where is the indoor championships this year? Is it in Indianapolis?
It's Boston.
Oh, Boston.
Massachusetts.
Really? Have either of you been to Boston before?
Yes, I've been to Boston before.
Do you like Boston?
No, it's too cold.
Too cold. All right. Well,
I've never been to Boston. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have probably been more places across the United States than I have. Half the places I've been to in the United States are simply because of where we've played football at, and
Same for me.
Really?
Yeah.
When you guys go and you travel places for meets, do you guys get to see part of the city? Do you guys have any time to go look at stuff? Because when we play places, I get to see it when we drive or when we fly in, but other than that, we do not see the city whatsoever.
Sometimes it depends on the meet and the amount of days that we're going. So for conference and nationals, we are there for a lot of days, so we could if we wanted to.
Right.
But most of the times we don't.
Gotcha. Yeah, because when we travel, we fly in on, usually we're playing on Saturdays, right? So we fly in on Friday, and then on Saturday, or we eat that night, and then Saturday you wake up and you're already in the hotel going through your routine, and then you play Saturday, you get right back on the plane and come home. So, the only time you get to see the city is driving to the stadium or flying in, and that's it. So a lot of the places I've been to, I haven't even got to see it, but I definitely haven't been to Boston. You guys are going to have to let me know how it is, because
It's cold.
Yes,
I've
it
been
is.
there in the winter. The snow was
it gets cold.
yeah.
Well, listen, I'm heading back east tomorrow, actually. I'll be in New York, and it's going to be cold, and it's going to rain. And that's just this time of year. That's just the way it is.
Sounds terrible, honestly.
No,
but
it's-
apart
it's-
from the cold, Boston, it is nice.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Hopefully you get to do some sightseeing while you're there. That would be nice. Eat some food. Have some good, Boston has some nice food.
There's a lot of Jamaican places in Boston.
Really?
Yes, there's a lot of Jamaican restaurants in Boston.
Well, you got to get to some of those, okay?
I don't know if I've ever been to a Jamaican restaurant.
You need to.
Is there one here?
Yes.
When are we going?
Whenever we get back.
Okay, sounds good.
Exchange phone numbers and you'll be all set. Poncho just messaged in that Obadeli Thompson, who I brought up earlier, I said from Jamaica, he's from Barbados. And also mentioned that UTEP used to recruit a lot from Trinidad and Tobago. That was a popular one for them. And he also said, are there plans to bring back the UTEP Track Spring Classic? Ladies, have we heard anything about that? You're both looking at me like I'm from another planet. There used to be a meet in the spring at Kidd Field that always brought in about 5, 6, 7, 8 schools from across the country.
Yes, I've heard about it.
that.
But you are having this year the CUSA Outdoor Championships in May. That's a big deal.
I think so.
You won the bid. So, and if you win those, you get a chance to go back to the NCAA outdoor meets, which means that the two of you will be back here with me in 3 months doing this all over again.
With Cade, right?
With Cade.
I'll be here. Don't worry. I'll be here.
Adrian, do you like that? This is
Love it.
He is now the official third part of this show.
Yeah, and you know what? He's the liaison between UTEP athletes and our show. So he speaks their language and he speaks our language.
Now, ladies, when he shows up at the CUSA outdoor meets and possibly surprises you at another meet this year, does that mean that you will be at the Sun Bowl watching him play for the 2024 football season?
Definitely.
There we go. I'll get you guys tickets. You don't even have to pay to come in. I'll get you guys the tickets. It'll be all good. You guys got to come to one game.
Wait, don't.
Cade.
Yeah, there we go.
I love it.
I love the support. I love it.
Ladies, it's great to see you again. Marissa and Aisha, best of luck this weekend in the indoors, and come back and see us again for the outdoors, okay?
Thank you.
All right,
We
you
will.
got it. We'll come back, wrap things up, our final hour. UTEP softball next. The Sports Talk continues, 600 ESPN El Paso. Continues. Faith and Asia are here with us from UTEP softball. Excited about that. UTEP softball, by the way, has Middle Tennessee. Let me give you the dates and times. We've got Friday night, 6 o'clock, Saturday at 1, Sunday at 11, and they're all going to be at the Helen of Troy softball complex, one of the nicest venues anywhere on the UTEP campus to be a part of. That in itself is terrific. So Middle Tennessee, and ladies, you tell me, because we've already had some games against, let's see here. You had the UTEP Invitational. That was last month. We had New Mexico in town. We had also the Dr. Diana Natalicio Memorial Tournament, as you've come out to that 14-5 record and you're taking everybody by storm. What does it mean to have a packed house at the Helen of Troy softball complex. Asia, why don't you start us off with that one?
I would say that it means a lot to us to see people faces. I feel like El Paso is a very homey community, so to feel like you're putting on for your city is really big. To see multiple faces, to see the little girls, it means a lot. It really does.
Okay, and you said something interesting, the little girls. So it's fun sometimes when you've got the kids there, especially those that are watching you and maybe they're telling their parents, I want to play this. I want to do softball, especially if they're not already, because they have so much fun watching you, play against and beat up the competition.
Yes, sir. Just seeing all the little girls. We have a lot of little club teams that come watch us play, seeing the little smiles on their face after the game or being able to just shake their hand, just talk to them even. They get super excited about those things.
Asia, how old were you when you first started playing softball?
Ooh, my goodness. Maybe like 4 years old.
So you started playing early. What
Yes,
made
sir.
you decide that that's the sport you wanted to play?
I loved it. It wasn't easy. I felt like it challenged me the most out of all the other sports that I played, and I found a love because you're going to fail more than you succeed in this sport, so it gave me a reason to go out and push harder.
Isn't it the greatest sport when you can fail 70% of the time and still be considered one of the best players on the team? Think about that for a second. You can go up to the plate, go 3 for 10, but you're batting 300, and in Major League Baseball, a 300 batting average will probably get you a $15, $20 million contract.
It's crazy. It really, truly is, because when you do think about it, those are the all-stars or the people that are batting a 300, and you're like, wow. When you really sit down, I only have to hit 3 of these 10 balls to be considered great. That's insane.
And she's saying you're talking about 300 right now. She said, Steve, I'm batting 400.
She is. Well, that means when you're hitting 4 out of 10, you're elite, right? That's top of the league.
That's whatever's above elite. That's what that is.
That's very true. Okay. By the way, Asia, did you play baseball growing up or only softball?
I played t-ball, and then I played coach pitch with my dad. Actually, I did play baseball for a little bit when I was like maybe 6, 7.
And then as you got a little older, then you transitioned over to softball, and now here you are at UTEP.
Yes, sir.
I like that. Faith, what about you? You tell me. When did you first start picking up a softball or baseball for that matter?
4, about the same age. And I've never been baseball. It's always been softball for me.
Okay. In Carlsbad, do they have a pretty good youth softball program at that age?
It used to be better than it is now, which is sad to look at. We have less than we used to have, but definitely we have something there.
When did you realize you had a chance to be something special and have a chance to go play college ball?
Probably not till middle high school, sophomore year. It was like a switch for me, honestly, going from freshman to sophomore year. I really got more serious about it, you can say, and I just fell in love with it so much more. But that's really when I started doing more for it.
Did the two of you play other sports in high school besides softball, or was it just that?
I played basketball and volleyball as well.
Well, but softball was the sport you gravitated to the most?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. Faith?
Soccer. I played soccer.
Okay. But you knew softball was going to be the sport for you?
Yeah, for sure.
How hard do you throw? What have you been clocked at?
Mid-60s, 64 to 66. I can clip 67 here and there.
And how much does that ball move when you throw it?
That's really what makes the difference.
It does.
Yeah, my rise ball is my pitch. That's my best one. So,
Kate, let me tell you about fast pitch softball. They're right on top of you, number one.
Yes.
So it's intimidating as hell.
Yes.
And when they whip that thing in and that ball starts, as she mentioned, to rise, it is the hardest thing. Even though the ball is big, it doesn't matter. That is the toughest thing to try and hit. And I've seen all-star baseball players come up there and they can't even foul one off against some of the best pitchers in college and pro ball.
The difference is I played baseball growing up my whole life. I played into high school, and the only reason I stopped playing was because I tore my ACL twice, and I never got to go back to baseball. But the idea of having a ball rise into you, like up and in, just terrifies me, and not, especially when you guys are as close as you are, I can't even imagine that. I mean, I think about having a baseball come up and in and, turning away at the last second. I mean, imagine a ball rising up and in and catching the upper inside part of the plate. Yeah, that's terrifying.
It sounds awful. Absolutely awful.
I'll stick to slow pitch.
Yes. That's probably a good idea. Faith, but for you, would you say that, is intimidation part of your game?
for sure. Yeah. I think the whole mental part is way harder than the physical part.
Yeah.
Not only pitching, I think everywhere on the other side of the plate too, but definitely the mental part of the game is really the difference maker.
Okay. By the way, Asia, as soon as I was asking about intimidation, you were shaking your head. So you know that that's the case. So as a freshman, Faith seems a little different than what you normally get, right? She's probably mature beyond her years when she can come right out there and produce like that.
Yes, sir. She comes out and she steps on the mound like she's been there and she's done this before.
Yeah.
She has a very great poker face. She comes ready. Like I said, when she steps on the mound, we're ready to play all behind her.
Pretty exciting to see what Conference USA is going to be like with the minors, isn't it? Because I mean, I know for the two of you, you have only one goal, and that's to win the conference championship and go to the NCAA's this year.
Yes, sir.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Do we know majors yet? Asia, what are you majoring in?
Elementary education.
Very nice. And Faith?
Construction management.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good. You guys have everything. They have everything set.
They do.
I was expecting a communication major. Maybe somebody wants to kind of hang out here like you're doing, but I don't know. Elementary education.
Nobody else wants to be here as bad as I want to be here, Steve.
I'm telling you, that is the honest truth. All right. When you're not on the softball field, will we see you and the softball team at football games this year?
Yes, sir, you will.
Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
We had to do some convincing with the two girls from track that were in here before. They were like, no, we're not coming to football games. They said, you don't come to our track meets, we're not coming to football games. I was like, okay, we can fix this. We can fix this. So I appreciate the support. It goes both ways.
Do we know what position Cade plays? Either of you. Take a guess. Without him even saying anything, do you know what position he is?
QB.
All right, you're saying QB. Faith, your turn.
Receiver.
Okay, we've got a receiver and a QB guess. I like that.
I do too, because it means you're right, Asia. But at least that means you think I'm fast in some capacity, so I got to take that for something.
Boy, you fooled her really good, didn't you?
Oh yeah, don't turn on the tape of me running.
It's fantastic. Ladies, we're going to talk to your coach here in just a second, your assistant coach. But appreciate you both being here, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You got it. It's Asia and Faith with us here at Sports Talk Continues. When we come back, Coach Mata is going to join us. Stay with us. Sports Talk Continues, 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back, everybody. Final hour is underway, along with Adrian Broadus, the forgotten man today. Man, it's been tough. We got a busy show. You're going to be doing a lot of this, though, while I'm out over the next week. So trust me, you'll be more than making up for everything with what you're going to be starting tomorrow. And then you're going to have Sports Talk for me Thursday, Friday, and next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's a lot of shows.
That's exactly right. Let's get it done.
I'm looking forward to it. Meanwhile, you really bonded with UTEP track and field.
I love meeting new athletes here. Just met two more. I mean, I've been around. I've gone to your guys' games. I've been around you guys, but I've never actually gotten to meet them. But being here with two new track and field athletes, that's awesome. I love that stuff. That's what's so cool about the show, right? Mm-hmm. At first, it was cool. I got to come on here and talk about football and give some inside access to that. But now we're upgrading. We're going a little deeper. We're getting more athletes on here from different sports.
We are, and
I love it. I think it's so awesome.
You know what I loved about that last hour, and this is the honest to God truth, ladies. I'll tell you something. I don't know about the two of you, but I'll tell you about them. When we just had Marissa on and Aisha, they did not have a good impression of football athletes. Like they thought, oh man, these guys are spoiled. They get everything. They're stuck up and all that. And then all of a sudden, by the time the interview was over with Cade, they're talking about going and getting food together and eating Jamaican food and hanging out. So they bonded quickly. But that just goes to show you, Cade, that some people think that every athlete, everybody knows each other around UTEP and everybody's friendly with everybody. Sometimes there is a little bit of a disassociation with athletes from certain sports.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I'll tell you what, the training room helps a lot with that because other sports and other schools with sports have different training rooms and their own facilities a lot of the times. But with us having the same training room, that helps a lot because we're all in there together. And, whether you're just, talking about a foam roller or doing something, like at least you have some type of interaction, which helps. But there's still a lot of different sports on campus and everybody's on different schedules. So, I had not met those two girls before. I had not seen them in there. It was really cool to kind of clear the air at least with their perceptions of football players.
Well, I want to find out with right now Faith in Asia if that's the same way with softball. I guess we'll discover that right now.
That's right.
Won't we?
That's right.
All right. First off, we do have Faith Aragon. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Now, Asia, is it Asia Richard or Asia Richard?
It's Asia Richard.
Asia Richard. Well, welcome to the program as well. Good to have you here. And by the way, you're both from New Mexico. I think, Asia, you're from what, Silver City?
Yes, sir.
And Faith, you're from Carlsbad.
Yes, sir.
By the way, there is the Aragons are very well represented in Carlsbad because you have a sister on the team and a cousin. So you tell me, is softball pretty much a way of life for the Aragon family?
Yes, definitely. For sure. It's been our whole lives, honestly. We've played together, so being able to play in college is big. Cool.
Is it really cool knowing you're all playing on the same team?
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to ask you. Now, between Carlsbad, New Mexico, and Silver City, New Mexico, who's got the best softball program in high school?
I would probably say us, just because we're 5A.
And as far as Silver City, Asia, what are you? Are you 4A?
We're 4A, yes, sir.
Okay. You tell me, if your 4A team played their 5A team, who would win?
I think back in the day we'd give them a run for their money. Actually, we beat Carlsbad my sophomore year. We had an 8-peat going for state. And it got broken, yes, sir.
Man,
that is dominance right there.
Not only is it dominant, can you imagine losing? Man, that's
right.
When you've won 8 in a row and then it finally comes to an end, you're like, ugh, you're not even used to that.
Right.
Asia, did you win every year when you were playing, or tell me?
No, sir. So in New Mexico, in your 8th grade year, you get to either try out for varsity or play varsity. So I won my 8th grade year, my freshman year, and then COVID hit my sophomore year, so we didn't get to play. And then after that, we kind of went downhill. We're rebuilding right now.
Okay, so COVID took a little bit out of that
Yes, sir.
dynasty. I understand. Faith, you winning state titles out there in 5A at Carlsbad?
Yes, I won my junior year and senior year, and then we got runner-up my sophomore year.
That sounds pretty spectacular. Was it a no-brainer coming to UTEP knowing the family?
Yes, it was big, definitely a big reason that I decided to come here.
Now, ladies, I got to tell you something. The truth is this softball team has been off to a terrific start. This could be the best start in program history. I mean, you nearly beat Arizona State. You took care of business against Texas Tech. You got people all over town talking about you. And I can imagine now, Asia, you were here last year. So you can speak from experience what this season is like compared to your first year here. All Faith knows is this. I mean, she comes here and now all of a sudden this team is winning. So to her, this is normal, but it's a big deal at UTEP right now, isn't it, Faith?
Yeah, for sure.
You're not surprised, are you? Is this what you expected when you came in?
Yes. It's definitely what I hoped for. I got to watch last year and the year before, so I kind of hoped, we're building right now, I know, so to just keep improving year by year.
Okay. Asia, you tell me. Last year to this year, I mean, what has been the biggest? The first thing I say is pitching, because I can tell what a difference good pitching makes in this, in college softball at this level. But you tell me, it's not all just pitching, but what's been the biggest difference for you?
I would say it's a complete 360. We're practicing harder. We're working harder. We're just one team collectively. Everybody's bought in, and everybody's here to piggyback off of the person in front of them. We're pushing each other day in and day out to make the person in front of you better each day. And we've never had that in years past. It's just a complete 360, I would say, in all aspects.
When did that commitment start, in your opinion?
I think it started stepping out day one in the fall. Having a new coaching staff, having new people. It's just, everything's changed. Coach Mata, Coach Dave, they've really brought a different kind of energy to this team, and I mean, we can see where it's put us so far.
Yeah, we're going to meet Coach Mata, who's here in a little bit. So you're telling me that in addition to the athletes, in addition to the roster, the assistant coaches are a big reason why this team is off to a great start.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's interesting. Because I always say to yourself, well, you know what? I mean, effort and being pushed is important, but, look at Cade next to you. Brand new coaching staff, all new coaching staff. Half of his roster is new. So, Kate, can you kind of relate to what Asia's talking about right now when it comes to just pushing yourself harder and really challenging yourself with all those new coaches?
Everything she just said was spot on, because we had the same exact thing happen, a new coaching staff, and it changes the way you feel day in and day out when you go into the building. And then if everybody can buy in and collectively come in, the mentality changes. And people really underestimate what culture and mentality can do for a team on a daily basis. And when those things start to climb, I feel like it just builds and builds and builds until you have something that's really good. And I hope we see the exact same thing this season, with football. What I want to know from you guys is, and especially you, Asia, because you were here last year, handling adversity is one thing, right? We always talk about handling adversity. How are you going to do when, the chips are down and it's time to, kind of, put it all on the line when the chips are stacked against you. But the other side of that is handling success. Like how do you go out, have a 14-5 start to the season, not get too big of a head and think, well, we're on top of the world. Let's just cruise and keep going. And then, maybe you start falling off towards the end of the season. What is the coaching staff? What have you guys done? What is the mentality right now that's going to keep you guys staying up and not let you plateau or fall?
Like I said, we come in every day and we start practice with the word of the day. And what that word is of the day, we go out and we perform depending on that word of the day. So last week it was put your head down and work. We got beat at Arizona State, and so we had to respond from that. So I think beating Texas Tech, ruling Texas State, that's big.
Yeah.
Those are two very big schools, very good schools. And in past years we've struggled with that. So I would just say keeping one foot in front of the other day in and day out, continuing to move forward.
What was the word of the day for today? Do we have one?
Professional.
Okay.
So carrying ourselves like professionals,
Good.
acting like professionals, how we handle business on and off the field, representing ourselves in a positive manner.
I love that. You know what that reminds me of is we have a really big saying from Coach Walden that he's brought in, and it's how you do something is how you do everything. And that's basically what that is saying is it doesn't matter if it's how you tie your shoes in the morning, how you make your bed, how you eat your breakfast, or how you play your sport. You're going to do it all at a professional type of level. So I like that.
Listen to these numbers. This is Asia's stats so far through, this is a best, I guess, for the season. 64 at-bats, okay? She's batting .406.
Jeez.
Tied for the team lead with 3 home runs. Second with 16 runs batted in. She's got 3 walks as well. She's slugging .719. That is tops on the team. Her OPS, which is on base plus slugging, 1.160. That is right there as well. So you're off to a terrific start. And it sounds like for you dedicated yourself early on. So this really is probably not much of a surprise because it goes to show you when you put the work in, this is the payoff. This is the reward.
Yes, sir. Like I said, I do it for my teammates. Just being with a team that wants it as bad as you do is going to pay off in the long run. I don't think there's one girl on our roster right now that is behind. Everybody's bought in and day out. I come in, I see my teammates work, so it makes me want to work harder for them.
That's the most driving. That's the driving force, right? Again, your teammates, because if they're putting the work in and you're not, number one, you're cheating yourself, and your teammates won't have your back because they know you're not doing what they're doing. So it really goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, it does. It's very important.
We see that in football. We see that in life. We see that everywhere, don't we?
100%. And like I said, all the things that she had just said about culture and mentality, I'm seeing it come to fruition right now on the football team, and you're seeing how it's translating to success on the softball team. I mean, it's awesome. And one question I do have for you guys too, though, before we keep going, Steve, is have you guys felt more love from the football team this year being at the games? Yes, no, not really, what?
Yes, we have.
And for my first year being here, I see it for sure. I didn't see how it was last year, but
is there a bigger commitment to softball this year than last year?
We've tried to make a better commitment in general going out to all the games, and I will say, we are incentivized. We have points for our teams and things like that to go and support other sports, but I've gone to softball games regardless, and we have so much fun going and cheering you guys on, or yelling at the other team or whatever it may be, just something to keep you guys in it, or all that type of stuff. But it's been super fun, so I'm glad that you guys at least feel a little bit of the football presence.
Now, Faith, I got to ask you, because we're just talking right now and really getting kind of from Asia her perspective on things. You have been off to a blistering start as a freshman. So far this season, you are 6-2. You've got an earned run average of 2.39. You've pitched in 44 innings. You've given up 35 hits, 15 earned runs, 37 strikeouts, just 9 walks. So control has been terrific. They're only batting .219 against you. And I said it earlier, I think pitching goes a long way. So you tell me, you faced Power 5 competition so far. You faced some very, very good opponents early on. What has been the key for you to come out of the gate and play as well as you have your first year at UTEP?
Honestly, the team behind me is the most impact. Having, like she said, having girls behind you who want it just as bad as you, that definitely is going to make me want to work harder for them because I know that they're working for me. So that's definitely the biggest thing.
Plus, you've got another pitcher right beside you, and
Yes.
it's Taja Felder, correct?
Yes,
and
sir.
she's been terrific as well.
Yes. Also knowing that I have other girls, not even just Taj, but the other girls who can come in. And even if I do happen to struggle, I know that there's always a team behind me, and I always know that there's other pitchers behind me who can come in and.
Yeah, when you're 3 or 4 deep, that's huge, and it's been the story so far for you. Now, again, as I said, you're a freshman, so this is all you know. So, I mean, it's amazing that you've had the opportunity to come in, play as well as you have. The team is playing as well as they have. And Asia, just goes to show you again what a difference really good pitching can make on a softball team, right?
Yes, sir. It stems from them at the end of the day. If they come out and Faith has her game face on, we're going to have our game face on 10 times harder behind her. So, to me, pitching is a very key part in this game. If she comes out, we come out 10 times harder. And I think she can attest to that as well.
Yeah. You agree with that?
Yes, for sure.
All right. Ladies, we'll come back. We'll talk more with the two of you. We'll get your coach on as well. We're talking UTEP softball right now. They've got their first big conference home weekend happening this week. We'll talk about that and how you can be a part of the action. Stay with us. More in a moment. Sports Talk continues right after Charlie 1 and this traffic update.
To the Paso Metroplex right now.
And thank you very much. Assistant Coach Brittany Mata is with us right now as we continue. Coach, welcome aboard. I'll tell you what, I thought your players are terrific. The best part about Asia and Faith is one's a freshman, one's a sophomore. That means we are going to have both of them here with us for the next 3 to 4 years. I think that's the thing that gets me excited the most.
Oh, yeah. Having just experience back, you can't beat that.
There's no doubt. Meanwhile, what a difference a year makes. We've talked about really the pitching, the importance of pitching, the outlook, the team, the mental aspect, as they talked about. This is your first season with the team after 17 years in Phoenix, both as a player at Arizona State and then later on as a coach. You tell me, how has your transition been from going to the from that area in Arizona coming here to El Paso?
It's been great. It's been smooth, nice community feel, nice and quiet. I love it here. It's, a lot like Phoenix, like we talked about, but just able to get back to the Division I level and kind of grind it out. And the kids are awesome. So, warm and welcoming. UTEP has been the same. So it's been great.
Like Faith, you're used to succeeding over there before you came here. So really, the years that this program has tried to get back, you're not necessarily, you don't know that firsthand. You know the stories, but this is really your first season. And like we've talked about, the turnaround's one of the biggest stories, like with volleyball probably, that UTEP's had these last couple of years. And I know there's still a lot of softball left, and conference hasn't started yet, but it's pretty exciting to see a team that has not been able to really get going have this kind of a start.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for. We're working every day to produce something better than what they did last time, raise the ceiling, as you can say. And I think they're doing a great job of that, one game at a time, obviously, and there is a lot of season left, but, it's a pretty good start. So
now, when you came here to join TJ, did he want to give you an opportunity to maybe instill some new practices with the team, the way they prepare and the way they're going about things, like the ladies talked about when we first started?
Yeah, he's been great. He's kind of given me the ball is in my court, and he's given me some opportunities to create some new habits for them, and it's worked well. We do, word of the day, pick of the day. Pick of the week has been huge. We pick kind of a leadership role for the week, and that person kind of immerses themselves in the leadership capacity and that role for the week, and kind of just, little reminders to the team of what we're trying to accomplish to get ready, prepared for the next set of games. So that's been huge. Obviously on-game stuff or on-field stuff too, pitching, recruiting coordinator, those kind of titles. He's just given me free reign to kind of do whatever I want, and it's been awesome.
How do you feel like the team has responded to the word of the week or the pick of the week, or like you were talking about a leader of the week and things like that? Have people really bought in? Have we seen, obviously you guys are 14-5, something's working right. How do you feel like the team's responded to that?
They've responded really well. I think I can be a little bit intimidating sometimes. I can, press because I expect a lot from them. But their potential's great, and they've, bought in completely to the stuff that we've brought to the table. And I don't think we've had really any issues at all as far as, culture and buy-in and things like that. They've all jumped in, and, they want to be good. They want to win. And so when you're asking them to do the little things that hopefully will create habits for a winning program, they're on board 100%.
Now, you mentioned, intimidation. Give me your style as a coach. I want to know a little bit more about you, what you bring to the table. We know about the experience factor. Are you intense? Are you the kind of coach that's a player's coach and really try to play up to them? What's your style like?
I would just say the one word that describes me the best is passion. I wear my heart on my sleeve. You're going to know if I'm mad about a call. You're going to know if I'm happy with a call. But I really try to bring that passion to the players and, try to get them to explore their why and their motivation and just get them to play for that every day. I didn't play a lot as a college athlete at ASU. I did a lot of bullpen catching. I did a lot of sitting on the bench, but I learned a lot about softball. And, I think that's one of the things that I can bring to the table is whatever they have done, I've done probably 10 times that. And I just expect the most out of them. I expect the effort and, the quality and good characteristics of a person first and foremost.
Brittany Motton is with us right now as we continue. Coach, did you know in the fall, as you were preparing for this season, did you have an idea that this team, just from working them out and practicing with them, had a chance to be pretty special?
Yeah, they're super athletic. We have all the resources that everybody else has. So it's just going out on the field every day and putting in the effort and maybe making some small minimal changes to just get the best out of them. And they're doing that. They're putting in the work. They're doing extra. And they're just a good group of kids. So, yeah, we definitely knew in the fall that there would be some drastic changes.
I kind of asked the same question to Faith and Asia earlier, but how do you guys handle being 14-5 right now? What are some of the ways that you guys try to take it one game at a time and stay locked in and focused and not look ahead too much or maybe get ahead of yourself so you don't slip and fall off towards the latter half of the season?
Well, I think the most important thing is just remembering we haven't done anything yet. We haven't met. We've maybe started hot, but we haven't met or exceeded any records or anything like that. And, there's a lot of work left to do. You can start something, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And so each day going out and taking the task that is in front of you and just maximizing that task and coming back and doing it again the next day. That's the best part about sports, in my opinion, is you have to go out and play the next game. There's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser, and someone's record's going to go up and someone's record's going to go down. But, at the end of the day, it's that effort and that try. And these ladies this year have done an exceptional job with that.
I was going to say, this is also a program, and there's plenty on this roster who know what the last few years have been like because it's been among the worst in Conference USA. And for them to be achieving success and seeing this has got to be driving them to want to keep this up, because when you've been at the bottom and now you're starting to go to the top, if that's not motivation to kind of keep where it is, I don't know what would be.
Exactly. I mean, everyone loves winning, right? Winning solves all problems for everyone, and it's a great feeling. So when you lose, I think those are the most telling of times. I know when I fail, I learn the most from those experiences for sure. And so, getting them to kind of buy into that and say like, hey, when we do something wrong, how do we learn from that and how do we respond?
Losing sucks. Let's be honest, Coach. I hate to lose. You hate to lose, Cade. I don't know anybody who enjoys losing. Unless maybe you're playing for the number 1 overall draft pick and you want to lose for that reason. That's not the only thing I could say anybody would ever really enjoy losing.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to lose. In anything they do in life, nobody wants to lose.
Exactly. It sucks. It really does. I think you have to hate losing as much as you love winning to be able to do this, really.
What impresses you the most about this team? Not just the work ethic, but in their performance on the field through 19 games. What have you seen so far that has really left a great impression on you?
Our defense excels. We have a really tight defense. When we're playing, our best ball, the defense really shines. Pitching is obviously a huge improvement from last year. The ability to out-hit our opponents. But the best thing, I think, is just the fight. From start to finish, 1 through 7 innings, you can never count us out. We've had some huge comeback wins. And we've just pressed through, and that's the biggest thing for sure.
As associate head coach, you've mentioned you've assumed a lot of the roles, and TJ Hubbard's given you that. He's going through an unbelievable situation right now personally with his wife and what he's having to battle through. So has that almost been a rallying cry for this team, wanting and dedicating this for TJ, knowing everything that he's having to deal with off the field?
I think these girls do everything for him. The leadership that he gives to them day in and day out, they're going to go so far above and beyond for him. It's not even funny. And you can see it in their performances. They come out and they just do their best. And it definitely is for him. He then comes back when he can, and he gives his all to the team 100% of the time. And, that's definitely what they're doing for him as well. On the other side of those lines, they're fighting for him.
Middle Tennessee, Friday, 6 o'clock, Saturday, 1 p.m., Sunday, 11 a.m. at the Helen of Troy Softball Complex. It's the start of Conference USA. Then you go to Albuquerque and Las Cruces. So you've got a Tuesday game in 9 days after spring break against New Mexico, and then the Aggies and Cruces before coming back home for Jacksonville State. So I'm sure as great as this season has been so far, you're ready for the start of conference play.
We are so ready. We've been ready. I think, the start of the season, the preseason stuff attests to what kind of product we're going to put on the field. But we're ready to play conference games. Us being ranked number 9 at the beginning has a lot to do with us being ready.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thank you.
Plan on coming back. And again, a lot of El Pasoans excited. Can't wait to see what happens this weekend to start playoff.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
You got it. She's Brittany Mata, folks, and she is the associate head coach here at UTEP. Also want to thank Asia Richard and want to thank Faith Aragon for joining us here on the program. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up with Cade and finish Sports Talk off here as we continue 600 ESPN El Paso.